Well, what would you like to know about archaeology?
Well, I was interested in hearing how you got into it, because we understand from your little YouTube promo of your book that we saw yesterday that you'd never taken a Bible course. You were trained
in
at
an
Harvard.
archaeology course.
Right. So how did you stumble into the field?
Well, I guess it's I'm a lawyer, and when I came to Washington, I was in a little group, and there was a course on the New Testament. I didn't know anything about the New Testament. I didn't know much about the Old Testament, which is called the Hebrew Bible by Jews. And so I got interested through this group. And then, things happened. I got married, and had a couple kids, and then, for a whole series of reasons, I decided to take a year off from my law practice and go with my wife and two little kids, 5 and 3, to Israel for a year, for a sabbatical from my law practice. And we did that. Man, that was an exciting year. It was a wonderful, wonderful year. And all kinds of accidental things happened. My whole life has been accidental. I don't deserve any of this. All accidental. So, because of the background of this Bible group, I was a little interested in archaeology. I had a whole list of projects. I wasn't going to sit. I was going to work. And so we would, on Shabbat, we would take a ride out to some archaeological site and walk around, looking for sherds. So one day, one Sabbath, we went to Hazor, which is where the eminent Yigal Yadin had been.
Danielle did a class presentation. She's our resident expert.
Oh, is that right? Well, I admire him so greatly. And so anyway, there was a little museum that attached to Hazor that we went to first. And by this time, we knew sherds. We'd been doing this for a while. And but there was some inscribed ones, or impressed ones with a seal of wood. And I put it to the kids. I said, "See those? That's the kind we're looking for. We don't want these just ordinary sherds anymore." So then we went out on the tell, and my 5-year-old took her when I was 6. She was close to the ground. She could see better than I could. And she picked this thing up. And it was a handle, a pottery handle. And it looked like it had it inscribed with a warrior with pointed shoes and a spear. And I said, well, you better let me hold this. No, I found it! All right. So we kept going, and then we explored the tunnel, a magnificent water tunnel. And instead of stone steps, they put slats of wood down on it. And we went down in the dark. We were the only ones there. And she drops it. And there's a space between the slats, and I'm like, God. And I get down on my hands and knees, and I'm around. Of course, I don't know what she had, And I found it.
Did you?
I found it. And I said, now I'll hold it. I'm telling you, I'm not asking you. And so, you know, it looked like a warrior. I wasn't sure. And then everything in my life is happenstance. I'm such a lucky guy, I can't tell you. In the same building that we had our little apartment near Hebrew University, Amnon Ventura lived. And he's now the retiring director at Hazor. He's the Yigal Yadin professor at Hebrew University. So I showed it to him, and you know, you can't get to see Yadin after all. His wife ran interference for him. And so I said, you know, could I see Yadin with this? That's what I found. My daughter found it was Hazor. And that's how I was introduced to Yadin. And he was wonderful. There were two kinds of people. And you may have the same kind of experience in your life, where you meet someone that's pretty eminent. They look down, what are you doing? I don't have time for you. And the other kind of open. And that's the two kind of scholars we met in Israel. And Yadin was the first kind. And he was so open with me. And this was a Hittite warrior. And it should be published in the Israel Exploration Journal. I said, well, I'll be glad to help you, do some research. He said, no, you'll write it and I'll help you. Can you believe that? And that's the article I published in the Israel Exploration Journal. That's how I got started. And I had a series of projects that I was going to do. The first one was to write a novel. I had about 150 pages. It was just terrible. So I gave that up. I think it was about Samuel and his sons, or Eli, the bright priest. My second one was about Hezekiah's tunnel. And while I was there, and I did, because Yigal Yadin helped me, gave me a lecture on Jerusalem. I didn't know any more than you know about it. And Yigal Yadin helped me. It was published, and it was very well reviewed in the Israeli press. And then when I came back, I said, well, I don't want to come back as a tourist. I want some business. So I thought at first I'd write a column on biblical archaeology. And my friend said, I've got too many columnists. Why don't you start your own magazine? I said, how do I do that? He said, well, you can get a couple of wealthy people, give you some money, and you ask a couple of archaeologists to join you. So anyway, to make a long story short, that's what I did. And that was 40 years ago this month, March.